Hey guys, it's Robsy back with Paperless Student. In today's video, we'll be comparing Margin 3 to Liquitext. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe if you're looking for a solution to go paperless with your studies or your business. And if you're already subscribed, make sure you turn on your notifications so you know when I release a new video. I would say these applications are really designed for different kinds of users. They are both powerful PDF annotating applications for your iPad, both very expensive, which is why it's really important that we compare the two applications. In this video, I will not be rewarding any points to any of these applications for the different various features that they have, but I will be highlighting the strengths of each application for different users and of course their shortcomings. Margin 3 is ideally for studying, academic study. This is shown by how the application has a dedicated study notes tab and flashcards tab, among other things. Liquitext is for PDF annotation, mostly for professionals for different various reasons that I'll be highlighting in this video. Both applications suck with auto backup. A few of you guys have encountered problems with Margin 3 syncing, and my suggestion for those of you guys that are having this trouble is if you really want a document synced across your devices, make sure you manually sync it just to be sure. Syncing in Margin 3 is really a hit and miss situation at this point, and I hope this is something that the application can work on and fix very soon. It's really important. And as for backup, Margin 3 doesn't have auto backup. In their settings, you have an option to backup, of course you do, but the application doesn't have a way to set up auto backup in the application. You have to manually backup your notes database and all your documents, or you can just choose to backup just your notes. But the good thing about the backup in Margin 3 is that you can backup to any application that you choose, not just to cloud services, but you can really just pick any application you want and the application will backup to that. Liquitext has no backup, no syncing for your notes whatsoever, which was one of the main reasons I stopped using the application. I had a very hard time moving my documents from my iPad Pro 2015 to my iPad Pro 2018 when I upgraded. Liquitext doesn't sync across your devices. In 2019, soon to be 2020, this is simply unacceptable. I did a video explaining why I stopped using Liquitext as my main PDF annotating application, and I will link that in the description down below. Liquitext has a feature that lets you save annotations to the original PDF. The original source of your PDF could be your iPad or in the cloud. It really doesn't matter. If I was to annotate a document, I can annotate it in Liquitext and save it to that document wherever I got it from. This feature really makes Liquitext very good for collaborations. If you're working with someone and someone wanted you to go through their content and share your thoughts on them, you can just use Liquitext for that. Both Margin 3 and Liquitext are not the kind of PDF annotating applications you want to use if you want to share your PDFs with other people. Margin 3 has review features that make it better to keep your content in the application for revision because everything is connected in the application. You can also go back to the PDF you got your information from. If you don't understand something later on when you're revising, this can be very useful. It makes more sense for you to use Margin 3 if you don't intend to export your documents out of the application. Liquitext also creates links to your PDFs when you extract information out of your PDFs. So unless you export your notes with the PDF, those links that you create between your notes and your PDFs are essentially broken. The setup in the application will allow you to see your PDFs as well as your notes for that content, which means this information is more useful to you because of the links you create in your notes. This information is mostly useful to you if you keep your notes in that application. And this is the same situation you see in Margin 3. And the application really emphasize on this ability to go back to your original source for reference. Another reason these applications are not good for sharing your information with others is that Margin 3, for example, doesn't support exporting multiple documents out of the application. Any attempt to do so, when you select multiple documents, you don't even get the export option. You can delete, edit category of the documents you have chosen, move those documents to a different folder, or upload them to the cloud. When you attempt to export a single document, you only get the option to export your document without annotations from Margin 03. You can export your annotations and highlights from the application's workspace, but considering the way the application is set up, this is not the most convenient way to do this. It will be easier if you could export your annotations from your homepage of the application, because that actually makes sense. Liquid Text will let you select multiple documents for exporting, only that the application will combine all those multiple documents into one. Only God knows why the application does this. Most applications usually recognize different documents. If you wanted to export individual documents, let's say 10 documents for example, you will have to export each and every one of them one by one. I've been through this and it's unpleasant. When annotating a PDF, Margin 03 lets you create a dedicated notebook for each topic, and the application lets you add many resources, as many as you need to take notes. Margin 03 doesn't duplicate your textbooks, it merely opens them in different study spaces. You can open and interact with your textbooks in multiple study spaces. Highlighting, underlining anything automatically adds that content to your mind map, and if you really want to get a full detail on how Margin 03 works, I have done tons of videos on Margin 03, and I have a playlist for Margin 03 that will help you understand and get the best out of this application if you intend to use it for study. I don't tend to write out anything in the application. This will save you a lot of time if you are studying using Margin 03. So Margin really shines when it comes to studying. The situation is very different for Liquid Text, however. In Liquid Text, your workspace can contain multiple PDFs, but each time you add a textbook to a workplace, the application makes a copy of that PDF. To clearly understand this, please watch my latest video on the 2019 review of Liquid Text. I explained this very well in that video. The fact that you have to duplicate each document makes Liquid Text not ideal for studying, in my opinion, because for a particular subject, for example, let's take a random subject, mathematics has 31 topics, let's say, you will have 31 copies of your math textbook if you use this approach to study. This will take up a lot of space on your iPad. To save space, you will need to create one workspace for your subject, but then the subject has 31 topics, which means your workspace or your canvas will have notes for 31 topics. All your 31 topics will be on one canvas. This setup is not ideal for study at all, and I find that Liquid Text is more ideal for professionals, those who want to highlight and reference pieces of information. Liquid Text is better when you use it when you study one PDF at a time. This makes it easy to reference information you find in your PDF, which can certainly be very handy for reference later, or for you to, extract that information later or go back to it. It is very difficult to export your notes out of Liquid Text. The infinite canvas is great, but exporting options will either create a massive PDF document with very tiny notes, or it will disrupt the continuity in your mind maps into multiple pages, and this can be very confusing finding what you need. In Margin 03, you can export your notes in different formats to different applications. Exporting notes out of Margin 03 is not difficult at all, which is to be expected considering that the application is mostly focused on study and helping you to get the most out of your study. The application integrates with a lot of applications, which is really great. Margin 03 is really great for your study. It's really great for you to keep your notes in the application, for you to study your notes and interact with your notes in the application. But it's also great if you decided to export your notes out of the application. Margin 03 also has a review feature, which is very useful for your study because it helps you to study your notes. Not only can you create notes, but you can also revise them in form of flashcards in the application, and you can export your flashcards to Anki if you wanted. This is really ideal for learning stuff. Margin 03 has a browser that allows you to get information from the web. You can easily open web pages and take notes from them within the application. I find this very useful, especially for checking definitions and quick explanations for things. In Liquid Text, however, the web browser is meant for importing articles into the application. If you opened a web page, you can't quickly take down the definition like you can in Margin 03. They have a dedicated importing tool in Liquid Text, which is very, very useful. And whether or not it is better really depends on what you are trying to achieve in the application. I would say Margin Notes option is better for students when you are studying. Students use online resources all the time. But the approach in Liquid Text also works for anyone who wants to study articles for research, for example. Searching in MarginNote is limited to text in the documents you edit in the application. The application won't search your canvas. So yeah, if you're going to be searching anything in Liquid Text, then it's only strictly searching through your PDF. Liquid Text, however, has this cool feature that allows you to see all your searched terms by simply pinching the terms together. I can search through my documents, even scanned documents with OCR. And I can also search through my mind maps. And the cool thing about the application is it allows you to search through all the mind maps. It has global search for all your mind maps in the application. And I have to note that both applications don't search through your handwriting. Though Liquid Text has no OCR capabilities, you can still work on your scanned documents without any trouble in the application. It has tools that will allow you to interact very well with your scanned documents. Since their OCR update, working with scanned documents, scanned PDFs in Margin 03 has been very pleasant. Now I can easily interact with my scanned documents as though they were not scanned at all in Margin 03. Margin 03 supports videos, so you can play videos and trim sections of your videos to add to your mind map or to your notes for revision later. Visual learning is always a handy tool, and now that we're going digital and we are going paperless, I think that most students will prefer using visual content to study and learn information. Liquid Text only supports PDF files, and that's it. Though I have none on my iPad, Margin 03 also supports EPUB books, not just PDFs. If you prefer writing your notes by hand and manually creating your mind maps, Liquid Text is better for you. It gives you an infinite canvas and allows you the opportunity to create your notes independent of the textbooks in the application. Connecting your notes to your textbook is great, and it is a core value for both of these applications. But if you wanted an application that can also detach your notes from their source, Liquid Text does that for you very well. So you can just start taking notes on a blank piece of paper and freestyle. You really can't freestyle in Margin 03. The application has a rigid structure and you are confined to that no matter what approach you take. You are still restricted to using mind maps and outlines. Margin 03 has this approach where you can focus on one document, but even that, your information and your notes are not entirely independent of your PDF. And I think this really highlights all the differences between these two applications. Like I've already said, these are both powerful PDF annotating applications. They have a very different approach on what you can do with your PDFs and what they're trying to achieve. So you need to really understand what it is you want to do before picking an application. So for those of you guys that are using Margin 03 or Liquid Text, let me know what you're doing, what your approach has been, and what your experiences have been in the different applications. I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.